Welcome, welcome to Queer Spotlight. My name is Drama Latina, and today we're stepping into the fabulous world of drag, nightlife, and event production with Mark Ashton, better known as Matron. Mark is a drag performer, host, and event promoter at Camp Fruit Events, a staple in London's queer nightlife scene. He's also a resident performer at the Bedford Pub in Balham, South London. Beyond the glamour and performance, Mark brings a unique perspective as someone who has navigated the intersection of faith, identity, and queerness. Matron, welcome.
Thank you, my darling. How are you? Well,
I'm doing so much better that you are here. Thank you for
oh,
being here with us
bless you.
today. We are so excited to hear your story, to hear about you and who Matron is, and of course, who Mark is as well. How did you come up with Matron, and what does this character mean to you?
Well, like all good names, they're the better ones that are given to you. Matron was given to me long
Oh,
before the drag persona actually ever existed. I
wow.
was looking after the boys at work, as you do, and working mostly in LGBT diversity workplace type things. And I was too young to be called mother, but was known for looking after the boys and the girls. And so they decided to call me Matron. So when it came time to create this, I thought we'll just use a name I already have.
Oh, that's amazing. You brought Matron into life.
Brought her to life, and I still look after the boys. I have many nieces and nephews.
Oh, that's beautiful. Do you think that people, when they see you now, they recognize the way you look now as the matron that they named you as?
I hope so. Hope so, because at the root of the whole thing, I am still the same person. I'm still passionate about the same things, and I still enjoy looking after the nieces and nephews. So I hope so.
That's so sweet. Of course, you've done a lot of shows, you've been on stage, and I want to know what's the most unexpected or hilarious thing that has happened to you on stage?
The most hilarious thing, just after I started Camp Fruit, one of my first guests was the incredible West End star Wilma Ballsdrop. Her name always gets a giggle before she's even walked on stage. Wait till you see her. It's even funnier to see, but never mind. Love her. And she was on stage, and as we were doing a number, she did one of her famous high kicks, and she knocked the feedback speaker into the
Oh my
audience. You'd have never seen a sound technician move quite so fast. Poor old Richard. Anyways, I came down, put it all back. We just carried on. We just burst out laughing. I said, well, that didn't happen in rehearsal. And carried on, as you do, because the show must go on,
The
darling.
show must go on. And how did the audience respond to this?
They thought it was hilarious. They thought it was all part of the show. So, and that's a good lesson to know. They don't know what's in the show and what's not. So I like to keep things as unexpected as possible.
That's amazing. That surprise factor, that's what makes it genuine.
Absolutely.
If you could share the stage with any drag icon, who would it be
Oh,
and why?
a personal icon to me is maybe not somebody you've ever heard of, because as you know, I'm South African and I spent the first 23 years of my life in Cape Town. I grew up with a performer named, the character was called Evita Bezuidenhout, and an artist, a satirist called Pieter Dirk Ace. And Evita Bezuidenhout was possibly the most famous woman in all of South Africa. So many children grew up thinking that she was a real woman. But Evita Bezuidenhout was the only person that could actually challenge the apartheid government in South Africa. And then afterwards, the new government, she could challenge them too, through satire and humor. And I grew up looking at this person thinking, what a wonderful leader, what a wonderful character, what a wonderful artist. And Peter Durkheim is still alive. He was here in London not so long ago. He's threatening to come back. Promising to come back in a couple of years' time, and God willing, he will join us again here. And because I'd love to see him, he's a great performer.
Do you think that you brought that energy a little bit into your character as well? Like, did you get inspiration from that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I don't think that Peter Durkheim is a satirist, and Evita Bezuidenhout, yes, it's a man dressed up for the sake of theatre. Is he a drag queen? Is he a performer? Who really cares? But I think when I look at drag queens, I consider them to be superheroes, right? We're called to do more,
Yeah.
to speak for those that can't speak for themselves, to stand up for things, to call out things that should be called out.
It's very political. I think it's a political statement.
I think absolutely. Look back to Stonewall. There's a long history, and I think we can, whether it's politically motivated or whether it's just caring for our population, our community. I think drag queens have got a lot to do. It's not just about looking fantastic, which of course we do, but I think so. Yes, hopefully, I have brought some of that with me from Tani Evita, or Auntie Evita, as we call her.
And of course, I have a question. Do you have a pre-show ritual or superstition before going on stage?
There's something I do which I picked up from my late drag mother, Tony Page. Before a show, getting ready, he would do his face, get ready, and then take the wig and then go and throw the big wig on and go, look at the mirror and go, now you remember me, don't you? and I still do that every day. It's my last thing that I do, and I put it on, and then the matron is there. She's arrived.
I love that you say this, because before we started recording or anything, we were having a conversation, and I asked Matron, what gets you into your drag persona? And you literally said the wig. And now I understand why. That's incredible. What inspires you to get involved with Camp Fruit events?
Well, I created Camp Fruit because, well, again, something my drag mother used to say. She was like, the audiences have forgotten how to behave, dear. Pretty much just like that. And during COVID, when we had lockdown and the restrictions, people had to sit down at tables and watch a show, right?
I remember that.
I thought that was kind of nice, because, I mean, there's different kinds of drag. There are different opportunities to watch drag. But what's also nice, other than having it going on in a busy club, is to sit down, pay attention, and actually experience real artistry on the stage, right? Very much like Connie and Carla, dinner theatre. And I thought, I want to bring that back. I grew up in London drag scene, watching it from behind the bar at the Stag in Victoria, a gay bar. Every Sunday, the serve a roast dinner, people come in and they would watch a drag show, right? And I thought, I want to bring that back. I want to encourage that. So I invite drag queens, my guests, to come and join me at Camp Fruit so that they can actually make a connection with the audience. Not just crowd control. Crowd control is fun. If you go to a big busy bar, and it's fun, it's hilarious, and you're chatting with your mates and it's happening or whatever. This is different. This is sitting down. And I want my audience, when they come to Camp Fruit, I want them to laugh. I want them to cry. I want them to feel something. I want them to learn something. Give the drag queen a chance to tell a story, tell you something. It doesn't always have to be funny, but come away feeling something or knowing something. And that's what you get at Camp Fruit, and that's what I wanted to create. And I've had the best support from queens like Wilma Ballstrop, Carla Bear, queens that are established in the cabaret scene and have been my guests, helped me to do that. So I'm very grateful.
That's so beautiful. I love the fact that you get to showcase art and the artistry of drag, because a lot of people forget that this is art, and to be able to allow these spaces and allow people to celebrate their art. Do you feel like from the very beginning, the first time, I'm taking you back to your first drag queen you ever saw?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Did you immediately fall in love with what you saw, or did you grow into this love for this art form?
I mean, taking you back to, obviously growing up in South Africa and seeing Evita Bezuidenhout, who I say is a satirist, a comedian, I was transfixed. I'm always amazed by the magic that happens when a man turns into a woman, a gorgeous woman. The transformation is incredible. It's magic.
The energy changes.
The energy changes. And when I do that thing, I go, now you remember me, don't you? I look different. I don't recognize that person. I'm like, I recognize the person because it's still me. It's just me with great attitude.
Yes.
So I love it. I love it.
I love that. I love that. And not asking for anybody in particular, me. How do you select a performer for your events? And what do you look for in a great act?
I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming. It was like,
Listen, I might as well ask.
Well, you can ask, girl. You can ask. What do I look for? So, I think what I look for in entertainment, and a lot of the queens that work at Camp Fruit, I refer as titans. You know, an artist that can stand on stage and keep people's attention for a full 45 minutes. Take a break and come back and do it again for another 45 minutes.
Wow,
Hold
tough.
people's attention, keep them interested, make them laugh, make them cry, teach them something, make them feel something, right? People that can do that, talented queens with real talent. Every time I have a guest on, we chat and I talk a bit about their background. The number of queens that I work with who have studied performing arts, musical theatre, master's degrees, right? These are not just boys in dresses, right? These are trained performers and they deserve our respect, right? These are the people that we need to share the talent with, and the Camp Fruit is the environment to do it. As long as I'm matron, that's what we will be doing. Yeah.
I love that. I feel like you want to be able to see people that have the passion for it.
Absolutely.
And let's just say I'm a passionate girl.
Noted, dear. Okay, right. See me afterwards. See me after class.
Matron, as someone who had to come out as both Catholic and queer, what advice would you give to others navigating multiple identities?
I mean, it's easier to say when you're a little bit more seasoned and longer in the tooth, like a matron might be. But I think we all need the confidence to be our true selves and to help each other to be our true selves. And if you are a person of faith and you are a drag queen, or you are whatever you are, you need to be confident and to own that, with the understanding that not everybody will always understand or support it, but find people to surround yourself with who will support you and will help you.
I love that. I love that. I keep hearing people and community around your name and around who you are. So you carry them with you. I can see them. I can feel like they're here.
They're in here.
The oh, that's why you brought that.
That's why I brought that. My mother always said, carry a small bag, matron, just big enough to hold a small brick, just in case, you need to defend yourself or somebody else. No, they're all in here. All my nieces and nephews are in here.
That's beautiful. In your opinion, how can nightlife and drag contribute to LGBTQ plus activism beyond entertainment?
Beyond entertainment. Like I said, drag queens are called to be more, we're entertainers, yes, but we're also custodians of our community. We're also superheroes. And you can be funny and you can still call out injustice. And I think you don't want to make everything political. You don't want to make everything serious. You want to have fun, but you can also do that, have fun, be entertaining, and also show care.
Yeah, of course. And what do you think makes London drag unique compared to other cities?
Oh, well, I mean, the history, if you think about it. I was, like I said, fortunate enough to be schooled by my drag mother, the late Mr. Tony Page, who sadly passed away at the beginning of COVID. He didn't have COVID, he just didn't like to be left out. But he was a host at the Black Cap in Camden for many, many years, sort of the 70s and 80s. Around about the time, you know the story about Lily Savage at the RVT and the police storming in and all of that, right? This is the kind of time, right? Days when it was new and live singing was new and glam drag was new. The drag culture, the drag profession goes back so far, well even beyond that, right? It's part of our fabric in this country. We have something that is so rich. We need to make sure we keep it, we look after it, we sustain it. There are other drag scenes around the world. I won't mention any places or names or anything. And they do things differently, and that's great. And we must learn from them. And I think there are people in the world that have done a great deal for drag. But we must never forget what we have and the history we have in this country. And we should celebrate it. the fact that we can have queens standing on stage doing a proper cabaret show, talented queens entertaining people and doing so with a message, I think is fantastic. Necessarily that does happen elsewhere in the world, but I think we've got a great history here in this country.
Do you feel like the current drag queens that are performing all over London, they respect that history?
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think that there are many queens that understand where we've come from. And I know this because I work with a lot of them, right? Real, like I say, superheroes. I worked this weekend past with a drag queen called That Girl, who's amazing.
That girl.
She's that girl,
That's
and I mean, award-winning Pink News award-winning drag queen, twice novelist, and so talented. Sings, dances, writes, performs, smart. I mean, I hate her.
all of the above.
I really hate her. This queen is just too puts me in the shade. But Joe, it's she's out there and she's doing stuff, right? And standing up and facing adversity on behalf of the community, and I think it is fantastic. So
Of
many
course,
examples.
I'm guessing she didn't just start out like that. That must have taken a lot of work in the craft. So I have a question. What's one piece of advice you give to someone wanting to enter drag or LGBTQ plus event space?
Never let the facts get in the way of a good story. I think that. No, that's no. I'm not encouraging the boys and girls to lie. Right. Don't do it. Persevere. I tell you another piece of advice I got from my auntie Alice. So Alice Harlequin, and Philip Harlequin is still alive. Aren't you? Are you still there, Philip? No. And but Auntie Alice died. Bless her. She finished the show at the Jack Corner in Worthing. Finished her, and then fell down. And I thought it was part of the act, and it wasn't. She was dead. Anyway, that's how to go. But Auntie Alice said to me, she said, Matron, she said, because she knows me. She said, Matron, don't worry, because I was very down about I did a bad show, and I've died on my ass more times than you've had off dinners, dear. And she said, don't worry. She said, every show is just one more rehearsal. And I've applied that to showbiz. I've applied that to my day job. Truth is, every day we wake up.
Translate outside.
Exactly.
Mark gets to use that as well.
Mark uses it all the time because we go, we do it, we try something, and sometimes we fail. So what? Tomorrow's another day, and we do it again, and we do it again, and we get better. We always get better. So, every show is just one more rehearsal. And I think that is what I would encourage people to do. Don't give up, because it's always tomorrow.
I love that. So music obviously resonates with a lot of people. And I want to know, what resonates with you? What LGBTQ plus film resonates with you?
Well, there are a couple, and strangely, they've all got drag queens in them. You won't be surprised to hear. The first one is, it's a great stage show too. La Cage aux Folles, great movie, but also the American adaptation with Nathan Lane and what's his name? The other guy who's I've now also going to get very tired now. Both of them dead now. Love him, great comedian. Dead. Anyway, really funny. The other one was Robbie Williams. That was it. God bless Robbie Williams. Robin Williams. Robbie Williams is still alive. Sorry. No, this really is water. Sorry, and the other one is obviously Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Of course.
I named this budget Barbie Camber Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
And talking about queer entertainment, what's your ultimate dream for the future of queer entertainment?
Gosh. I enjoy seeing LGBT characters in mainstream cinema. not as the drag queen, although if they're casting anybody out there, I'm available. Or, an HIV patient, or,
A coming out story.
a coming out story. Great. And they're all good things, and we should see more of those. But also what would be nice is just, a person in the movie who just happens to be gay and has a husband or a wife or whatever. We are special. I know we are. So we don't want to normalize things too much. But just telling normal stories about normal people who happen to be LGBT, I think is fabulous.
Do you feel like we're heading towards that direction?
Absolutely. So I have more and more, I'm seeing it happen, and it's just being kind of like, just so kind of, gee, did they just, it was a series I saw, and the president referred to the first gentleman. I was like, he's gay. And they didn't make a big thing of it. It was just was. And I was like, I like that.
I love it. It sounds like you're living the future that you're hoping, but of course we need to see more and more of
Absolutely.
it. Because we're everywhere. We're not just a sad story, like many wants to say that we only have sad stories. And some of us do. Mm-hmm. Some of us just, want to go about our lives and be Absolutely. Represented in entertainment. So it sounds like we're living in the future that you hope for in entertainment, because we're not all sad stories. We have so many stories to share, like even just everyday stories, which, can be very impactful, just be able to be represented and not having to go into this drama, Why do you think that LGBTQ plus festivals matter, and how do they bring people together?
I think bringing people together to celebrate LGBT talent is always a great thing to do. I do it with Camp Fruit for cabaret entertainment, right? Okay. If you do that in a film sense, for example, for a film festival, I think it's fantastic. You're celebrating LGBT plus actors, film producers, directors, the whole industry, and telling LGBT stories. Yeah. And celebrating queer cinema. So I think it's important, because not only just for us to celebrate ourselves, but actually to be a shining beacon to everybody else too.
Yeah, of course. And we get, more people to see us, more people to celebrate us, and more people to understand our art, which is beautiful. I want to go back into films again, only because you said, you did mention there's a lot of films that you are inspired by. Is there any particular queer film that has stuck with you?
There is. It was a little while ago now that I saw it, but I still remember it clearly for very obvious reasons. It was In From the Side.
Okay.
A movie directed by Matt Carter about rugby. Okay. There's lots of rugby boys in it now. Now you know why I remember it. Is this why you
watched it? I have to ask.
Well, of course I watched a film about rugby. There's all these lovely gentlemen with great, big, thick hearts and talent, in very short shorts. Anyway, and of course the lovely Matt Carter is also an absolute dish. What a mountain of a man. 6'5" and worth the climb. Anyway, besides that, oh sorry, dear. Yes, I'm just sorry, Matt, darling. Sorry, mate. See, consent is sexy. I know. Love you, Matt. Anyway, so In From the Side has nothing to do with being side, by the way.
Okay.
It's a rugby term, and the other reason it resonated with me, and I mentioned something along these lines earlier. When interviewed about it, he said he wanted to tell a story about being able to be gay and play rugby.
Okay.
Today. He said that there are lots of people that make really good movies about coming out stories, about the HIV epidemic, about all of these things. And those stories need to be told. And some people tell them very well. But also, we live in a world today where we have achieved so much, and it's just nice to tell a story about where it works. Yeah. And the fact that you can play rugby in a rugby team with other guys, and it's perfectly okay. And that just set me on a train of thought about, and hence also the inspiration behind, yeah, that's really nice. And I started noticing this same thing in other movies and celebrating it. Hence my answer before. So it's a great movie.
Do you think there's any other stories that need to be told that you can think of, or that you would like to see?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a story about a drag queen who happens also to be Catholic, and I mean, if I could think of anybody who might be able to do something along those lines, or more than one, you never know.
That would be interesting, though,
wouldn't it? I think it probably has been, but we could do it again.
Yeah, for sure. What keeps you going, both in life and in your work?
What keeps me going? Vodka. What you want more than that? Oh, right, okay. Okay, so more than vodka. I mean, there are a couple of things in my life that are really important, that drive me. I call them the pillars, right? And you've got to make sure you build on your pillars to make sure that you have all the things that literally support you. Drag is one of them. I'm passionate about drag, and running Camp Fruit keeps that avenue open and keeps me engaged. I love my dog. I have a American Cocker Spaniel called Rothko, and he has taught me so much, and I love him to bits. And that just the absolute, I adore him. And
nothing like coming home and having somebody.
Oh my gosh, I love my baby. So I mean, that's another pillar. My relationship with Rothko is another one. My faith is another one too. And for me, faith is a really important thing, not to be confused with a religion.
Yeah. Right?
It's what's in the church as opposed to what's in your heart. And for me, what's in the heart is most important. And of course, my career, which keeps me in the style to which I've become accustomed. But you have to get up and be passionate about what you do every day.
Yeah. So I've heard so much about your work, about your life. I want to know, what is your life motto?
Oh, I think it's very simple. Consent is sexy. Now, let me tell you about this, my darling. Just because we get dressed up in drag and walk out into the world, they may not be actual boobies, but that does not give people the right to walk up and grab at you, right?
Yes.
This is not padding, this is my own ass. And because I look fabulous does not give you a license to walk up and abuse me and touch me and do anything you like. My drag is not consent for you to touch me.
Yes.
Right?
Say that again, please.
There you go. Consent is sexy.
Do you feel that comes from the patriarchy?
Oh gosh, I don't know about that. That's a big word. We'd be here much longer than we have been already, darling. But I think it's another time I've experienced this is I love to go to bear festivals and carnivals and things, right? And just because you're walking topless down the street through Bear Alley in Sitges does not give you the license to walk up and tweak my nipples, right? Because you can turn the button, but the picture don't get any better. You see? And they're all mine. And if you knew what my nipples could do, you wouldn't abuse them like that. So just because they're there does not mean that you get to touch it. Yeah. Consent is sexy. And it comes down to respect for ourselves and respect for everybody else.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course. And it sounds like you have to have a lot of pride in yourself to be able to know when to put your limits as well, you know? Mm-hmm. So what does pride mean to you?
Pride for me in a London sense, because this is where we are, is people will say, well, we have everything that we want. We don't need anything more. Hello, watch the news, see what's happening in the world around us. Yeah. What you have can be taken away, right? We have to keep on standing up for what we have. And if we do have and feel that we're in a position of, of strength, then maybe we need to use that strength to stand up for people who are not.
Yes.
Right? London Pride is as much about sustaining the equality we have achieved in this country as much as standing up for those in countries where it does not happen.
Yep.
because they need us to speak for them too. So Pride for me as an event, as it happens in London, is something that we do for ourselves, and we do it for the rest of the world too.
That is incredible. Thank you so much, Mark. This has been an incredible conversation. You work as matron. Your role at Camp for Events and your journey through identity and faith make for a truly unique and inspiring story that I want to watch in film. Before you go, where can people follow you and stay updated on your upcoming shows and events?
The website where you can find out more about the shows is www.campfruit.com. And you can follow us on follow Camp Fruit on Instagram at Camp Fruit Events, and you can follow me at Mark Ashton DQ, also on Instagram and Facebook.
Amazing. You will see this all here on the screen, and please do follow this incredible artist, this incredible person that is inspiring so many people around you. Thank you again for sharing your story and for everything you do to keep London's queer nightlife vibrant. See you on the dance floor.
Love your work.
Thank you, baby.